your audience will often see me as a completely political creature, so let me say this so they can get it out. Because they're going to be very mad at me. But
They
they'll
will.
they'll like this part of it.
Okay.
The heirs to what the emergent movement thought it was going to be are Jonathan Pageau and Jordan Peterson.
I agree. I agree.
Because Pageau and Peterson are making a good faith attempt at bracketing their politics off and actually trying to go back and just understand the text.
I agree.
They've said, look, all of your criticisms, Mr. Emergent, are what they are. But you have obviously a political bone to pick because you apply your postmodern deconstruction selectively. And the postmodern deconstruction can only go so far. The swirling paint at some point stops being a rainbow and just fades into gray. That unbearable eye of Sauron that's looking for complicity in any inequality is treated as evidence of a system of inequality which is enforced on every human being. That eye of Sauron which says any particular instance of inequality anywhere is produced by an external system and is not result of moral choices or anything like of the sort. That's impossible to live under. And you're seeing the cracking and breaking apart of it. I remember when all of these Christian pastors on the right were getting Me Too'd, and you've seen some genuinely horrible things come out.
Yep.
Okay? Let's just say some horrible things have come out. Some things were not as horrible as they were made to seem. Some were much worse than they were given credit for. But when this was all coming out, there was sort of this triumphalism on the left. And I said, give it 5 years. And now you're seeing like Ibram Kendi's like anti-racism center just closed. You see the thing with Hannah Kate Osborne, who was one of the accusers of the SBC, where it turned out that there was a lot of financial malfeasance there. You're seeing the accusations start to fly back and forth about people being accused of things. I'm like, in 20 years, we're going to look back and you're going to see that on that whole movement on the left, all of it is going to have been as shot through with infighting in politics as anything on the right. You were going to find out, like when I mean, someone said that we're going to find out the end of the Biden administration, we're going to see like just how bad things were on the inside, but it's going to take till that's gone. And now you're starting to see that this is going to happen with all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, people, a lot of people say, well, the Lord sees it. We're going to see it in the end. I go, sometimes I think, yeah, that's true. But I don't think we're going to have to wait that long.
Human
There's an
nature
internet now.
is remarkably predictable.
Yeah. So what Pageau and Peterson and many of these people are doing is to say, we're going to try our best in the limited way that we can to pull as much as we can out of these texts and allow them to transform us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than what appears to be going on in the emergent movement was, we have a politics which is going to guide our interpretation of the text, and we're going to keep our eye on that. And it's actually that which is the moral compass.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason that environmentality article that I read to you was read first to me by Joe Heath in an article that he in a thing that he was at, a colloquium he was given. And one of the things that he said is, he goes, look, this entire apparatus of critical theory gets applied to anything and everything. He goes, but how do you know what to apply it to? He says, well, it's the politics of the faculty which determines that. And he goes, so now that this can be applied to other things, he goes, you can, and now that it's getting applied to climate change, particularly on the right, you're starting to see on the left some people wanting to abandon this apparatus of critical theory. But they're still held together, and they have still continued to accept that original mythology of the counterculture. they're still fighting the man. And people say, and a lot of times the people make the correct observation that they've become the system now. That's true, but the bigger mistake is thinking that they were ever at odds with it.